Hi guys, good day. Once again, Chidi Ben here, coming your way this evening just to talk about something very briefly that I think is of utmost importance, mostly to the youths, and then elders can also take a cue from this. There's one thing I've discovered with us as black people. You know, we like to rant. We like ranting, like we just like to come up and begin to talk about problems and problems and problems and problems. We do not like to talk about solutions. Now, I'll give you an example. Right on Facebook, you will discover that majority of our youths, more precisely, don't do things that shows capacity to bring about change. And I've always said this, that the politicians are all over the social media and they monitor the activities that goes on social media. And what do you think could begin to give the politicians a nightmare, if not the fact of the intelligence that we're able to showcase on social media? But when they see the distraction that we're falling into on social media, they see it people who are not even ready to take over leadership. I'm not talking about the case of where you have just one person, who is clamoring for. I'm talking about where you have majority of the youths showing capacity, if not to any of those set of youths, at least the graduates we have in this country, showing that they have capacity to take over leadership. But it's very scarce, except for few. We give attention more to entertainment. We give attention more to a lot of things that don't even really talk about leadership. What kind of posts do we do on Facebook? What kind of posts do we do on other social media to show that we are actually leadership driven? What kind of posts do we do on Facebook to show that we are politically oriented to be able to take over power politically today? The same thing goes for other facets, other aspects, as it concerns a country like Nigeria. What do we really do to show that we have the capacity to take over leadership? And I can tell you, now you are not initiating anything, and you are not supporting any initiative. You're not initiating any process, and you're not supporting any initiative, and you're not doing anything on social media to show that at least youths have capacity in this country to take over leadership. So I want to call on us, all the youths in Nigeria and across Nigeria. Let us begin to show capacity to take over leadership. Let us begin to show in our conduct on Facebook and other social media. Let us begin to show in our posts. And to those who do singing, it doesn't matter how much money you've made and how many followers you have. What I'm concerned about is how meaningful even the music you're doing is. It's not just about the beats and entertainment, and this sort of relief, entertainment-wise or comedy-wise that it gives. What is the message? What does it show? What does it tell? What capacity does it show that we have as youths, as black youths, to take over power? These are my concerns. And this is what I want to talk about this evening. Let us begin to show capacity in our activities on social media. When politicians begin to see less of ranting, it's not enough to keep posting, this governor stole, this one did this one did that, this one did that. Well, you may do all of that, but that's not enough. If we so know that these things that are done are wrong, and if truly we are against it, what have we initiated? What processes have we put in place to show that we are really serious about change and not ranting? Let me tell you one thing. You cannot get reformation from unreformed minds. So that's why I do not, subscribe to going to have any meeting anywhere, with people in leadership or politicians. Let them do this. You're placing a demand. Don't place a demand. I know, yes, it's our right to place a demand, But we've been placing demand for years, for several years, and it's not working. And we keep having a circle, a vicious of leaders, of the same kind of leaders. It doesn't matter what party they are hiding in. We keep having the same kind of circles of leaders. Don't you think it's enough? It's high time, we stop this kind of thing and then begin to think about the way forward. And what should be the way forward? Let us ideologically think about political party, not parties, political party. Let all the youth assemble in the political party. And for this to work, we must go on a common global view of common global agenda of development. So that once we have a global view of development, that would have taken care of the whole thing. So everybody knows that this is what it is. And they'll begin to look for people who have the capacity to do that. Even when we find a number of persons who have the capacity to occupy a position, we take one person. Don't be crazy about leader position. Be crazy about leadership. You don't need to be in the position to do leadership. In this case now, because when we have people who are in the position doing what we want, we can do leadership from any other angle. What we need is an equitable distribution of our resources. What we need is equal share. What we need is an egalitarian society. That's what I keep talking about. We need a society where every human matters, every human life matters, where the dignity of citizens are given attention to and matters. We can do this if we begin to get focused. We can do this if we take up a vision. We can do this if we go more ideological than rants on social media or whatever. Some aggressive approaches and all of that. We don't need these aggressive approaches. We don't need violence. We don't need it. That's why I would say once again that is a huge loss. I don't care what anybody says about fallen heroes. That is not an issue for me. It's a huge loss that we've lost some persons in the previous protest, because I know you wouldn't want to die. So if you wouldn't want to die, nobody else should die. The reason we're talking about good governance and everything is because people want to live and enjoy the dividends of democracy. So if we don't want to die, we shouldn't wish anybody dead. And if we don't want anybody to die in this manner, we should go more ideological. We should shit our selfishness and greed and some sort of irresponsibility and become responsible for once. And let's do it more formidably. And that's why I would say, for instance, some presidential, candidates we had in 2019, I'm just saying that they needed to do something much better than that. Let's assume that their running for the office in 2019 was a way of making themselves popular. Good and fine. That's a very good strategy. Now, they know they were not going to win. So if anybody ever tell them, even in a dream, that they were going to win, that was going to be lies. They knew that they were not going to win. So it means it was just a strategy. So the strategy has been put in place. You can go ahead and contest in 2023. There's no big deal. It could also be a strategy. But what are you doing now? What is the orientation campaign that you're putting up now? What is the formidable force that you're creating and you're forming right now? What is the coherence that you're trying to form right now? I would say all these youth candidates in 2019 should collapse the ambition for becoming president and pick one person and begin to do an orientation campaign around the country. Use the social media. All of you can even have platforms, but that platform could bear a name. If we claim that we truly want change and we're selfless, we have platforms. Let's talk about one agenda and let's project a person, and then let's be able to build governors from around the states and people in different political offices. This is an idea. If you cannot do this, it means you're not patient, it means you're not visionary, it means you're not selfless. So forget about change, because it's not going to work. How can we be fighting evil and we also keeping evil? How can we be fighting, irresponsibility and we also show irresponsibility? It's more like we are doing a selfish fight. Like if it doesn't favor me, I'm going to fight. If it favors me, then I won't fight. Then such fight does not work, and it will never work. I'm calling on the previous presidential aspirants or candidates in 2019 to come together. They should shit their selfishness. They should throw their selfishness away and come together and pick a person. For all of you to run in 2019, let's assume you're all competent, but all of you will not be president at the same time. So why don't we take one person? Why don't we go selfless? Why don't we talk about a commonwealth idea? and support that one person that was chosen, and then make sure that we can fit into a position of ministers or whatever. What matters is that we're pursuing a common cause and we have a common agenda. Let us have this plot and make it clear. That's how visionaries operate. Have this plot, make it clear. Make clear the vision for national development that fits into the global trend of today. Let's make it clear, and let's begin to make a campaign, a orientation campaign on this. No violence, no roadside unnecessary protest that will cost people's lives. Let us go for politics, and let us do election, and let's get the blood of power. Ideologically, youth still take the larger percentage of the population of this country till tomorrow. And if those youths truly want change, if they don't want immediate gratifications, if they don't allow themselves to be bought over by politicians, then let us do what is needful. Let's do the right thing. And I tell you, we are going to make a headway. Politics is prudence. It's about ideology. The politics we're practicing today were the ideas of great thinkers. But we are practicing on the contrary because we're not thinking the way they think. Our thoughts are not in sync with the thoughts of the people who even made this, postulations that we claim to be using today. So I think we really need change in Nigeria and Africa. Some of the time, actually, I'm going to be talking about the issue of African development and AU and their template on development and what we're not seeing working in any way at all. So let us chart the right course ideologically. That's how great minds think. My name is Chidiben. I'll be coming your way some other time soon. Thank you. Bye.